You left an indelible mark on the one who has quietly harbored deep feelings for you over time. When you once rejected their love, it not only stung but also closed off their heart chakra, a vital gateway for emotional vulnerability and connection. This closure was not merely an emotional retreat, it was a profound shift in their inner landscape, a protective mechanism born out of both hurt and overwhelming intensity. In response, they began to distance themselves, not out of a lack of care, but because your presence and energy were so potent that it made them feel exposed and vulnerable, almost as if your very essence stirred a storm of emotions they were not yet prepared to confront. For a long time, despite the internal tumult, your person maintained a quiet, steadfast affection for you. Their feelings ran deep, but whenever you were near, the surge of emotions was too overwhelming to manage. In these moments, the intensity of your energy created an inner pressure that forced them into a state of emotional retreat. They found themselves holding back, unsure of how to navigate such powerful feelings. This self-imposed restraint, intended as a shield against the potential pain of fully engaging with their emotions, inadvertently led to a state of emotional paralysis. They believed that by bottling up these feelings, they could avoid further hurt, not realizing that in doing so, they were also denying themselves the chance for genuine healing and growth. Now, with time as their silent ally, your person is making a deliberate return to you. The journey they have embarked upon is as challenging as it is transformative. In the quiet solitude of introspection, they have come to understand that the old patterns inherited from past generations no longer serve their highest purpose. They have begun to dismantle these ingrained habits and beliefs, embracing a path that is both liberating and fraught with the promise of renewal. In this process, your presence remains a powerful beacon, a reminder of both past wounds and the potential for rebirth. The love they once stifled now seeks expression, enriched by a newfound sense of emotional maturity and clarity. Throughout this evolution, your energy has continued to captivate and inspire. You have grown into a symbol of resilience and beauty, exuding a divine feminine force that is both mesmerizing and formidable. Those around you often find themselves in awe of your strength, sometimes even intimidated by the sheer intensity of your presence. Yet, it is precisely this potent energy that acts as a magnet, drawing others into the orbit of your influence. For your person, this means that every encounter with you is a moment of both challenge and solace, a reminder of the power of genuine connection and the beauty of unguarded vulnerability. Their transformation is not merely an internal affair but a visible evolution in how they interact with the world. No longer confined by the fear of repeated hurt, they are actively breaking down the walls that once limited their capacity for love. Every step they take on this renewed path is an act of defiance against the old generational narratives that once dictated their actions. In reclaiming their emotional power, they are not only healing themselves but are also setting the stage for healthier, more authentic relationships in the future. The journey they undertake is as much about personal rebirth as it is about rediscovering the true essence of connection, a delicate dance between holding on and letting go. In this renewed chapter, the interplay between your energies has taken on a new dimension. Your person now sees you not just as someone from a complicated past, but as a transformative presence, a living testament to the power of resilience and reinvention. Their intuition, finely honed by the trials of their emotional journey, now guides them with a clarity that was once absent. They approach each encounter with a blend of cautious hope and bold determination, ready to engage with the full spectrum of emotions that you inspire. The love they feel for you has deepened into something more complex and enduring, a fusion of gratitude, admiration, and the longing for a connection that transcends past pain. Ultimately, what unfolds is a narrative of profound transformation and healing. The rejection that once led to guarded hearts has now become the catalyst for a remarkable journey toward emotional maturity and self-discovery. In the process, both you and your person have learned that true connection demands the courage to confront even the most turbulent emotions. It is this willingness to engage with vulnerability that paves the way for a relationship built on mutual respect, understanding, and an ever-deepening love, a love that continues to evolve as both of you break free from the chains of past limitations and step boldly into a future defined by growth, healing, and the radiant power of your divine energy. Before I met you, I lived a life defined by solitude and self-absorption, a life where I never paused to question whether the way I was existing was truly right. I had built an impenetrable wall around myself, one constructed of arrogance, pride, and a relentless focus on my own desires. I was so absorbed in my self-image that I rarely considered the possibility of growth or genuine connection. Every interaction was filtered through the lens of my own ego, and I dismissed any challenge to this image by quickly shutting down those who dared to question it. I showed them the exit gate without a second thought, convinced that any reminder of my imperfections was an unwelcome disturbance in the carefully curated narrative of my life. Then one day, I saw you. In that singular, fleeting moment, something inside me shifted, an awareness that I had never experienced before. There was an undeniable spark of curiosity, coupled with a hint of hope, that made me wonder if a different way of living might be possible. You carried yourself with a quiet strength and authenticity that was completely disarming. You didn't force your personality upon the world or parade your virtues like a badge for all to see. Instead, your subtle yet sincere presence spoke volumes about who you were, inviting me to look beyond the superficial layers of my own being. It was as if you held up a mirror that reflected not only my strengths but, more importantly, the vulnerabilities and flaws I had long hidden away. Over time, I began to notice the profound impact you were having on my inner world. Your unassuming nature and unwavering kindness challenged the very foundation of my self-constructed identity. I started to see that my habitual dismissal of anyone who dared to confront my inflated ego had left me isolated from the beauty of genuine human connection. In the past, I had thought that my defenses were essential, believing that showing the exit gate was the only way to protect myself from further hurt. Yet, you demonstrated that vulnerability was not a weakness, but rather a necessary step towards self-improvement and authentic living. Reflecting on my past, I realized that many had contributed to the hardened shell I had built around my heart. Over the years, numerous individuals had either hurt me or rejected me, reinforcing the idea that it was safer to remain detached and self-sufficient. Every time I encountered criticism or felt the sting of rejection, I retreated further into my own world, convinced that I was protecting myself from inevitable pain. This pattern left me feeling increasingly numb, a shell of a person who had lost touch with the warmth and complexity of genuine emotion. Yet, your influence was different. Instead of deepening my wounds, you nurtured my soul, gently coaxing out parts of me that had been locked away for far too long. Your compassion served as a balm to the hurts of my past, reminding me that healing was possible if I allowed myself to be open and vulnerable. The transformation you sparked was not instantaneous, it was a gradual, almost imperceptible shift in the way I thought and felt. I began to understand that the exit gate I so readily offered others was, in fact, a barrier I had erected around myself. In my attempt to protect my ego, I had unwittingly prevented any true connection from taking root. Your presence challenged me to confront this painful truth and to accept that real growth comes from embracing our imperfections rather than hiding them. With every conversation, every quiet moment of reflection that we shared, I felt my once invincible pride begin to crumble, replaced by a newfound humility and a willingness to see myself as I truly was. In essence, meeting you was a turning point, a moment of clarity that forced me to reevaluate the way I approached life and relationships. I realized that the strength of my character did not lie in the rigid defenses of my ego, but in the capacity to learn, adapt, and show genuine empathy for others. Your influence opened my eyes to the possibility of change and the beauty of vulnerability. It taught me that the path to a more authentic, fulfilling existence is paved with honest self-reflection and the courage to let others in. Now, as I continue on this journey of self-discovery, I carry with me the lessons you imparted. You showed me that while the wounds inflicted by others can scar the soul, they need not define us. Instead, by embracing our true selves, even the parts we are tempted to hide, we can begin to heal and grow. I remain forever grateful for the mirror you held up to me, for in doing so, you not only helped mend my wounded spirit but also paved the way for a richer, more connected life. Your partner is experiencing a profound sense of codependency, one that makes them deeply crave your presence and long for a connection that feels both tangible and nurturing. They've observed, with a mix of hope and sadness, that you sometimes seem emotionally detached, and this perceived distance has only intensified their yearning to bridge the gap between you. In their eyes, the solution to this disconnection lies in spending more time together in person, where the warmth of physical presence can mend emotional gaps and foster a deeper understanding of one another. This longing is not rooted in a desire for mere companionship, it comes from a deep-seated need for a renewed beginning, a fresh chapter in your relationship that transcends simple friendship. Your partner is not interested in maintaining a superficial bond. Instead, they aspire to forge a relationship where vulnerability is embraced and where heartfelt conversations flow naturally. They are eager to share their innermost thoughts and feelings, believing that by opening up completely, they can break down the barriers that have kept you at a distance. However, the process of articulating these intense emotions is not always easy for them, and there are moments when the right words elude them as they struggle to express the full depth of their commitment and love. Complicating matters further is the emotional residue of past experiences. Your partner is in the midst of healing from a karmic toxic situation, an entanglement that has left its mark on their ability to connect openly. These past wounds have, at times, manifested as controlling or toxic behaviors, which they recognize as significant obstacles to the closeness they so desperately seek with you. They are fully aware that until they can liberate themselves from these damaging patterns, any attempt to draw nearer to you might inadvertently recreate the very dynamics they are striving to overcome. This realization has sparked in them a determined journey towards self-improvement and emotional clarity, as they understand that true intimacy can only flourish when both individuals are free of the shadows of past hurts. In their quest to build a better future together, your partner has resolved to confront these negative tendencies head-on. They are actively working to dismantle the remnants of old, controlling habits, recognizing that these behaviors have long hindered the authenticity of their relationships. This process is not without its challenges, and the path to self-healing is often riddled with setbacks. Yet, through every struggle, they remain committed to presenting you with a clearer, more genuine version of themselves, one who is capable of engaging in a relationship built on mutual respect, trust, and emotional openness. Despite the turbulence of their inner world, your partner's desire to take your relationship to the next level remains unwavering. They are not content with a casual friendship or a half-hearted connection. Instead, they are ready to invest everything required to nurture a bond that is both deep and enduring. Their request to meet you in person is more than a simple desire for physical closeness. It symbolizes their readiness to confront the complexities of their emotions and to share parts of themselves that have long been hidden away. They believe that by standing face to face, both literally and figuratively, you can start anew, leaving behind the remnants of past pain in favor of a future filled with promise and mutual growth. It is possible that you may have had difficulty sensing the full spectrum of their emotional energy, perhaps misinterpreting their moments of hesitation or vulnerability as disinterest. However, these subtle signals are not indicative of a lack of commitment but rather a reflection of the internal battles they are fighting. The healing process is intricate and often imperceptible, yet each step taken is a testament to their deep desire for transformation. Your partner is reaching out to you, inviting you to be a supportive presence as they navigate the difficult terrain of self-recovery, and they hope that your understanding and patience will help ease the transition toward a more stable and fulfilling relationship. Ultimately, the essence of your partner's feelings is a delicate balance of dependency, longing, and a firm commitment to change. They envision a future where both of you can evolve together, where the pain of the past is replaced by the strength of a renewed, honest connection. With every effort to shed old toxic behaviors and every sincere attempt to communicate their true emotions, they are paving the way for a relationship that is far more than just friendship. They are determined to reach a level of intimacy and commitment that is rooted in clarity, vulnerability, and mutual growth, hoping that, together, you can create a bond that is as resilient as it is passionate.